Okay, so we've gone through planet management and we've looked at those kinds of things. Right now, I edited the planet real quick, and we'll just take a look at this. I just go to manage, and I'll go to labor settings, and I put 3.3, so I have more than 360 workers, which will allow me to have 3 hulls. So if you're following along and you want to build your ship, that's what you need to do if you want to make changes to it. Okay, so we're going to go to Drydock. Okay, so in Drydock, here's the owner, how much cash I have on me. I don't have any cash, so we're not going to be able to make any changes. This is the basics, is what we're going to go over. Okay, the ship mass is tied to the impulse drive and the warp drive. So you need at least the ship's mass in the impulse drive to be able to go to the ship. Now you'll notice here it goes from 36 to 72. Now, one of the things you want to do is, if you're taking damage on the back of the ship, on the aft of the ship, then you want to make sure that you have more impulse drive than you need, because as they're hitting you on the aft, once they cut through the shields, then they start hitting your engines. You will start slowing down, and in combat, if you slow down, they start hitting you harder, and they can kill you very, very quickly that way. The same thing with the warp drive. You'll notice it goes from 170 to 326. Okay, you can buy more impulse drive and warp drive than your ship needs. So if you take damage, it won't slow you down. Okay, now warp drive and impulse are expensive. Okay, so you have to balance that, and that's up to you. One of the choices that you get to make when you play MegaWars. Okay, all right, so that is what the ship mass is all about, and that's how it ties into the engines. Okay, the number of hulls. Now I have a 3-hull. This is the max up here at shipyards. Can only do 3 hulls. I may make an advanced video that once we get the dreadnoughts later in this war, I'll try to do an advanced video so we can show these things changing. This is very early in the war, and I needed to get this out so people can be able to use it. Okay, all right, so this is where you change the hulls. You can type in here and you can use the arrows. That's how that works. This is the ship type. This is the class, not the class, but the style. That's the word I'm looking for. This is the style of the ship. Okay, so this is the poleaxe. Now poleaxe is named after a player that we lost several years ago. Very good guy. Steve was his name, and we dedicated this ship to him, and so that's why it's called the poleaxe. Steve was the glue for a long time that held a lot of people in the game, and we respected that, and that's why we honor him by naming a ship after him. Okay, Cryon. This is the Cryon ship. So if I select Cryon and I hit purchase, that ship will come out. It'll come down, and so that is what that ship looks like. Okay, now that is what the Cryon, the enemies of the Empire in MegaWars. And we're going to do some cool history about that once we get some time to get some writing done. But the Cryons, you can fly their ship, the style, if you want. We have the Raven. Raven was built for us. I'm going to go ahead and do a purchase on that. Raven was built for us by a gentleman that I met, and he built a full set of models for us. We're very grateful to Christoph for doing that, and so. Fly that ship. They're a beautiful class. He tried to mesh up some mesh up some different looks of different ships that have been drawn through the years, and he's got them shaded. They're a beautiful set of ships. I really like them. So as we move forward, we're going to add more of those. In fact, I would like to get to the point to where we have enough ships built that teams can fly a single ship, or have, and this was what we'll use for monetization. We'll have teams that may come to us and say, we want a special ship that no one can have but us. And so we want to be able to do that, offer that service to players as a team. So if there's a team with 100 players or something, everybody do $30-$40, and that will give us the money to be able to build a whole style of ships. Okay. All right. Now the ship class. This is a scout. There are 6 classes as you go up. You have the scout. You have a destroyer, which is 4 to 5 hulls. You have a cruiser, which is 6 to 12 hulls. 13 to 24 is a battle cruiser. 25 is a battleship, and that goes all the way up to 74. And 74 to the maximum that we have currently, which is 200 hulls, is a dreadnought. Okay. Now, as the ships grow, the amount of weapons and life support and bays and torpedoes, fuel tanks, all of this increases. Okay. And there's tables that are available. We'll make sure they're available in the wiki very quickly. But that allows us to scale the ship. So if you want a combat ship, you're going to make choices of, I don't want life support and I don't want fighter bays. So if I'm going to come over here, I can sell off the fighter bays and the hulls. Now you can see I have space here. I'm only using 2.3 of the 3 hulls. And so everything takes space as it's being added to the ship itself. Okay, so the idea is I can use this gap right here and put metal ore in it and haul that around, and we're going to see that when we go through the trading post. Okay, all right, so ship classes, there's 6 types, and the number of hulls they take, the size of the ship increases, and as that increases, you can increase the amount of lasers and shields, and that's all scalable, and it fully scales all the way up to the 200 hull dreadnought. Just to give you an idea of these ship sizes, just mentally, a scout can carry 12 fighters. Now let me put this back up. So we can have, whoops, I don't want 500. Go back there. Go put my fighter base first, and then put my life support. Okay, so 12 fighters. Okay, I mean an aircraft carrier, you know, is what we have now on the planet Earth, where we think we all live at this point. They those carry from 10 to 50 fighters depending on the size. Well, this ship can carry 12 fighters and 100 men. That gives you an idea of the size. Okay, I like to equate this to the Epcot ball. If you don't know what that is, Google it. Epcot, it's at Disney World. It's basically the square footage of 3 of those balls. Okay, it's basically a big sphere that's about 100 foot in diameter or radius. I forget. That's why you need to look it up. Okay, but each fighter I'm counting to be about the size of a Black Hawk helicopter. Okay, so those can be outfitted, and we'll go into this during Planet Attack, but those can be outfitted either for attack, or they can be loaded with 10 troops that get put on the planet. Okay, just to give you an idea how that kind of comes together. So I'm going to get rid of the fighter base, and I'm going to get rid of the life support, because this ship will now be ready when I go over into the trading post and explain that. Okay, here again, real quick, all ships are scalable. You can't have everything unless you need it, and your teams will advise you how you should be building your ship. Okay, and feel free to ask your team to be able to know what is the best choice for providing for your ship itself. So I'm going to purchase this. You can see now that I have everything the way I want. I have a lot of space, and I'm going to say exit Drydock. There we go. All right, we'll see you in the trading post.